Hello and welcome to another part of our Master Duel Series. Today I want to showcase you my replays at Master Rank and how I hit Master 3 really effortlessly with Tearlaments. So let's look straight into my Tearlament replays. So here the first replay. Fortunately I was able to win the coin toss because that opening hand is not that strong going second. I would need a board breaker like Droplet to fix this hand. Anyways, we have Mara, which cancelled Hafnis, and now Hafnis can go into Kid Carlos, basic combo line. Usually I would use Kid Carlos to foolish a Tearcash, but we already have the Tearcash in the hand. That means I search the Sharon, which can discard the bricks, and I have 2 bricks in my hand right now. So Sharon discard Clown, then Clown comes back. Then Tearcash, banish the crime, and now if I mill the Grief, I could add back the crime from my banish pile. But I mill the Scream, so I can search the Salik. Now Cross Sheep, and then Kid Carlos can bring back Sharon. Then I have Foolish to make a level 4 and then Redoer and then go from there into Kid Carlos, I mean Rukalos. But we go into Baron because we milled the Destrudo. Now Foolish into Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart special summon, and here is where I miscalculated. Because I was calculating a line where I end on Prime and Salik, but I forgot that I have to discard the Salik for Rhino Heart. So I got rid of my Salik, which was not a part of the plan, and now Baron can pop Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart comes back and can send the Heartbeat. And Heartbeat can add back the Salik, but I wanted to have a line where I can pop a Kaleido Heart and then Kaleido Heart cancel the Grief, and then I can add back the crime from the banish pile. Yeah, anyways, we play against Branded because we attached a fusion deployment from the deck directly with the Redoer. Now Albas, and I negated with Salik. And now Hafnis, Kaleido Heart. So Hafnis didn't mill a Shuffler here, which was kinda unfortunate, but the endboard should be good enough still. So Kaleido Heart spin back the Albas, and then Kid Carlos, send Sharon. Never mind send Hafnis, and then we go into Rukalos. And now Allure of Darkness. My opponent foolishes the Tragedy, and now Tragedy can search the Alubar. I probably should have negated that, because if my opponent has Droplet, then I get really punished, and I get really punished by Droplet sending Branded Fusion and Alubar negating both the Rukalos and the Baron. Yeah, and now my opponent is probably able to break this endboard. Yeah, now Lubellion. And I'm actually surprised how much Branded can do with just one single Branded Fusion. So here we have Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade gets rid of Kaleido Heart, which is really rough because Kaleido Heart is really important for the Tearlaments grind game. Yeah, now I lose Baron and Rukalos, and my opponent played absolutely amazing because now I don't have any tier bodies on the board for Salik. I could use to negate the Branded follow-up. So my opponent puts me on better have a tier name in the hand, and I have a tier name in the hand, the Rhino Heart. Yeah, but my opponent extends really hard in the end phase. Just look what Branded can do in the end phase. So here I have Cartesia add back itself. Then Retribution add back the High Spirits, and then High Spirits to search Mercuria, and then Cartesia, then Quem into Cartesia. So another Redoer, and I think I hit another spell. Yeah, that was kind of fortunate for me. And now with the Sharon, I have Sharon that I can send to Fusion Summon. So Sharon gets hit with Mercuria, and then my opponent summons Gregunol. And now Rhino Heart sending the Hafnis. Then Hafnis gets hit with the Retribution. And then SP Little Knight to get rid of the set, and then chain block the SP Little Knight with the Trick Clown. My opponent hits me with the Mirror Jade, and then chaining the fusion duplication. Yeah, fusion duplication was really rough because now my opponent can basically copy the Branded Fusion and get more advantage from that. So Clown comes back, but I should still have a Psychic and Punisher line. Yeah, I think Psychic and Punisher should kill my opponent here. So I'm pretty low on life points, which is actually fortunate for me because now I can make probably over 10k Psychic and Punisher, which should be able to one-punch the opponent. So here we go Prima Donna, and then Prima Donna trying to give back the trap to my opponent. Now Rhino Heart. I already used the effect to Foolish, so I go straight into End Punisher. And my opponent tried to go Ringroom into Albas but lost time. Yeah, really well played from my opponent and misplayed on my side. I think I should have negated Aluba to not get punished that hard because Branded Fusion is at 1 and the probability of my opponent having both Aluba and Branded Fusion in the hand is not that high. Anyways, let's go into the next game. So here my opponent went first. I don't have any tier engine yet, but I could draw into tier engine with the talents. And my opponent is on Snake a Fire King. That means Super Bully should become live, and maybe I might trigger something with Super Bully so that I can use talents afterwards. So Ash, and then Ponix, and then Temple, and then Garunix, and then Garunix. Here popping the Kirin, and then bring back Avatar, which was sent by the Diabelster. And now Sunlight Wolf, and then Flame Birch. Now our opponent can add back. And then we go into IP. And then IP into Princess. And then Flame Birch to spell traps on the IP. Then one Forcer, draw 1, and then Ambler Whale. Okay, so this endboard plays into Super Bully, which is really fortunate for me. So we go into Super Bully here, discard the Clown. And then we make the Mud Dragon, we get the Clown effect, and my opponent basically gets the Flame Birch effect, and I'm completely fine with that. So I call Fire to shut down the Promethean Princess. Yeah, my opponent has a couple of triggers and then IP into SP Little Knight. For some reason deciding to get rid of my Clown because the opponent probably realized can't touch anything except the Clown. And now Talents is live. I get hit with the Ash Blossom and I scoop. Yeah, that was not winnable. I had to draw some kinds of Tearlaments engine on top of the Super Bully. Yeah, so I lost. Let's go straight into the next replay. Okay, now I won the coin toss and my hand is absolutely amazing. I get hit with Maxi. Sure, doesn't matter at all, especially with this hand. So we have the Fenrir, which cancels the Tearcash, and now Tearcash is a summon during my opponent's turn. We have Perla Rhino, which cancels at the Rhino Heart. Then Rhino Heart send Toughness, make it Carlos. And then I can use the planet to pop my own Kid Carlos, and now I get to mill 5. And I milled the Scream, so that means I can end on double traps. And I have a tier name on the board because I have the tier cache in the hand, which I can summon during my opponent's main phase. So my opponent is on Raid Raptor. I allow my opponent to summon a bunch of Raid Raptors from the hand and then use Fenrir on some of them after my opponent activates the monster effect. And here I hit the Halfness, which is absolutely amazing because now I can fuse into Rukalos immediately. Otherwise I would have to use the Meta Noise to get into the Rukalos. Never mind. I think it was better here to go into Kaleido Heart. So Kaleido Heart spinning one body and now my opponent has to use more bodies from the hand. I can Meta Noise another one and then send the Sharon and then Sharon can fuse into Rukalos. And now my opponent has just one Raid Raptor body left and 2 cards in the head and it's probably insufficient to break through this board. And I completely crushed the opponent under Maxi. So yeah, I think this was a great showcase how Tearlaments can beat Maxi. Especially when you have Perla Rider, which can pop the Kid Carlos. Alright, I can go first again. And this hand looks nice because it beats at least one Ash and maybe Veiler too. So, alright, first hand trap, no problem at all because we have Sharon and Sharon can extend through one hand trap. So we milled nothing, but we can summon back the Rhino Heart and then send the Scream and then Scream cancel Shizolic. And here is why you have to play Redoer, so Redoer could extend into Kid Carlos. Anyways, my opponent hits me with another Imperm, but I have still a Redoer into Kid Carlos during my opponent's turn. So attaching Ravis, and my opponent probably realized that Redoer into Kid Carlos into Root Carlos is incoming, and that should be more than enough interruptions to stop Voice's voice completely. Alright, here I had to go second, and I kinda bricked it. Ah, never mind, my opponent forced me to go first. Yeah, that was actually surprising that my opponent forced me to go first. That means it's some heavy board breaker deck, probably with grass. Also, 55 cards in a deck, that means probably 60 card pile with grass. Yeah, I go Kid Carlos and then adding Sharon, which can discard either the Beast or the Keldo, and I went for the Beast. Hopefully to draw into something good. Yeah. So drawing the Rhino Heart, not the greatest draw here, but I still mill 3. And then Meta Noise to add back the Harvest, and then Foolish into Tearcash. And now the Strudo, alright, now we have at least a Baron. So Kid Carlos into Tearcash. Mill 5 with Kid Carlos, mill 3 with Tearcash, so milling 8 in total. And then Scream to search the Salik. And then the Strudo. Becoming level 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. We make the Baron. And then Baron can pop Sharon. We make Rulkaldos. So really basic end board, it could be much stronger. Maybe I should have discarded the Kello instead. Yeah, I think this is what I should have done differently. My opponent hits me with a Lava Golem and then Heavy Storm. Wow, I was actually shocked to see that. And then I'm going to shuffling back more cards from my opponent. Just in case my opponent is on Sky Striker Engage, because playing chicken game is kinda weird, not gonna lie. So I was expecting some striker cards here, and then I get hit with a second chicken game. Okay, sure. And then Salesman calling Ash Blossom. Then Reasoning, I call level 4 just because it could be Infernoid, which is playing Fairy Tale Snow. Maybe Raiden. Yeah, I had no idea what the kind of deck this might be, so my opponent hits me with a second Lava Golem, and then just passing turn I take the burn damage from Lava Golem. And then I use the chicken game to get into more engine. Okay, I draw into Talents, and the Talents draw doesn't change really that much. So we make Kid Carlos again, and Kid Carlos at Sharon. And here is where my opponent hits me with the Fairy Tale Snow. Sure, they just played into Talents. So putting the colors face down, I couldn't care less because I should have still left the light on the board. Yeah, I think now with the Milling Harvest that should be lethal. Yeah. So I won against a really weird Infernoid 60 card pile. Yeah, as you can see in the hand of my opponent, Infernoid cards, but the deck in general was really weird. And I just think you should not choose to go second in Master Duel. Alright, another replay, and I was able to go first, but unfortunately my hand is kinda bricky. So I went for the Scream and then Grief. Sending the Rhino Heart, and then Rhino Heart comes back. I can discard the Meta Noise, and then Scream, Rhino Heart. Sending the Harvest, and then making Kid Carlos. And I get Impermed here, which is really heavy because I don't have any tier traps, so I just have to go normal summon Mudora. And hopefully this is enough. I shotgun the Maxi immediately just because my opponent could be on Diabellstar or Fenrir, and I get punished by that with Trust into Grass. Sure, milling 30 cards. Yeah, my opponent has also some Tearlaments stuff in the Grass deck. Also hitting the 3-week hammer, sure. Yeah, I think this was probably the biggest possible punishment for dropping the Maxi in the standby phase to play around the board breakers like Lava Golem, Fenrir or Diabellstar. And 60 card decks in general are seeing the Ash Blossom less often, so there's no really the threat of Ash Blossom in response to Maxi in a 60 card deck compared to a 40 card deck. Now transaction rollback. So yeah, my opponent is just too far ahead at this point, and then talents on top of that, which is just super disgusting. Yeah, no, opponent has milled 1/3 of the deck, then Pearl Rhino into Rhino Heart, and then Immensity. And I think I should have scooped at this point because it was just pointless trying to play on. But I was still curious what my opponent is playing in the deck. Now the King Sark and then Sharon. Okay, milled the Rhino Heart. But in the 60 card deck, the Tearlaments mills are supposed to be much worse compared to a 40 card deck, which is why I absolutely do not like those 60 card piles. Okay, yeah, I completely forgot it was under Maxi, so now I get a bunch of draws, and those draws should help me to stay in the game at least. Even though my opponent is extremely far ahead because of the grass. Now we have the Tearcash and the Scream. So I get to add one Tearlaments trap, in this case the Crime. And now Crime could be a Rhino Heart discard later, and I hit the Rhino Heart, which is really nice. Now Rhino Heart, discarding the Crime, and now I can send with the Rhino Heart and add back the banished Rhino Heart for more follow-up. So yeah, because I drew into Tearcash with Maxi, the game is not over yet. We can make Kaleido Heart during the opponent's turn and then use Kaleido Heart to spin back the Sark. Yeah, my opponent misplayed and should have special summoned a Horus monster immediately after using the Sark and not just wait with the Sark to play around Nibiru. That's completely nonsense. Yeah, there is absolutely no reason to wait with the Horus summons in a deck like this. My opponent goes SP to get rid of Kaleido Heart, sure, but overall this turn from my opponent was really weak when my opponent started with Grass. Yeah, the turn could have been much stronger for my opponent. It was just really hard misplayed on my opponent's side. So I go Sharon and then Rhino Heart, sending the Huffness, and my opponent probably doesn't have any Shovelers, so that goes through. I go into Kid Carlos, and I'm actually able to recover from that. So Kid Carlos and then Super Polymerization to get rid of the SP Little Knight from my opponent. So summoning Rukalos with the Super Polymerization and then dodging SP Little Knight. And now I can resolve the Tearcash. I mean, I can add the Tearcash to my hand after resolving Kid Carlos. And now we have a couple of triggers going on. And my opponent hits me with the Daruma. And I think I had Snow in Grave. Yeah, my opponent really misplayed hard here because my opponent should have used the Daruma on Resolution. And now I can basically OTK my opponent with End Punisher here. Even though I have more life points, but just 3.5k Psychic End Punisher attacking directly. And Winder to shut down my opponent, but here is where I lost the time. Yeah, I was in a winning position, but I lost the time, which was super unfortunate. Yeah, I managed to recover from the grass and getting stopped by hand traps. Just look at this deck. So basically the only real hand traps were Ash Blossom and Imperm, and my opponent hit me with an Imperm on a really weak hand. Yeah, but as you can see, you can come back from really bad positions when the game is almost completely lost. All it takes is just Maxi into Tearcash and then all of a sudden you are back into the game. Okay, not the greatest opening hand, but at least I have some place. So here we go for the Rhino Heart, and now I can go Rhino Heart 1, Tearcash 2, banishing the Grief from my graveyard. So I get to summon the Tear Cache and the Rhino Heart, and now I get the effects of both. So making Carlos here, and then adding the Shaman, which can discard the Modora. And now I think I made Baron on the 6th summon, so now I'm protected against the Nibiru. And then Sharon, winning the Clown, and now I can extend even further. Yeah, so now the Redoer, and then hit Carlos, taking out into Tear Cache. And then I hit another Destrudo. But those are just link material for Cross Sheep. And now Redoer, detaching Sharon. And then Sharon to go into Rukalos, and then I get the Cross Sheep. So Cross Sheep back on Modora. Yeah, I think that was just to gain the attack boost. Yeah, it's probably better to keep the Modora in the graveyard, so just that my opponent cannot negate the Modora with a card like Dark Ruler. Because Dark Ruler could negate a Modora on the board, but not a Modora in the graveyard. It was the reason for this play. So anyways, with the mills I get into Rhino Heart, and then Rhino Heart sending Hafness. And then we make a winner during the opponent's turn and shut the opponent down completely with the winner. And now my opponent goes for Trust into Grass. So I get hit with another Grass. But the thing is, even with Grass, my opponent still has to get rid of the winner. Yeah, and I misplayed because I used the Baron on the Snow when I had the Sullik. Yeah, so really dumb misplay on my side. I shouldn't have used the Baron on the Snow and Sullik instead. Anyways, opponent trying to use Kaleido Heart to get rid of the winner, but I have the Droplet, which can negate the Kaleido Heart at half the attack. So there is no way for my opponent to get out of the winner lock, even with Trust into Grass resolving. Now, I shuffled back Snow and a Shuffler from my opponent. I think my opponent gets the Perla Rhino, which can pop something on my board. Yeah, and no Baron trying to tag out. My opponent hits me with the Sullik on Baron, so no Baron tag out. And then shuffling back the window. And yeah, I think the misplay with not using Sullik on Snow really made me almost lose the game here. But my opponent can't use Sharon yet, because when Kaleido Heart was summoned, Sharon was not allowed to activate because of winner. So now I have Sharon access, and yeah, I can try to fusion summon into Kid Carlos. And then Kid Carlos adding Rhino Heart. And now summoning Rhino Heart, and then Rhino Heart 1, Kid Carlos 2. And my opponent lost. I think it was because of time. No, opponent surrendered, yeah. So as you can see, 60 card Grass decks really scary when they resolve Grass, but they cannot beat the winner. And now we are in the final game. So one more win and I should be in Master 3. So I'm playing again against a 60 card Grass deck. What is that? Why I am playing so many Grass decks? Anyways, Rhino Heart sending Sharon because I have the Hafness already in the hand. Therefore getting rid of my Hafness and putting back the Hafness for the bottom so that I could mill Hafness later in the combo for the Rook Carlos. So Kid Carlos into Tear Cache and I mill the Shadow Beast. It means another Grass player who gets flooded by winner, probably. So Kid Carlos and the Tear Cache milling 8 cards. I hit the Heartbeat and the Scream, that means I get to add 2 traps. Yeah, so poor opponent, now I have Meta Noise, which can become a winner during my opponent's turn. And I have the Baron and the Crime, which can negate any cards that would threaten to out the winner. And Super Poly on top of that, some opponent hits me with the Jack in the hand. Ah, never mind, it was not a Grass deck, it was Fluanaries. I misremembered. Yeah. It actually winner sucks in this matchup because Fluonaries doesn't special summon at all. Anyways, my opponent probably tried to tribute summon the Ampin here. So I had to get rid of one of the birds that is water by using the super polymerization. And now Mud Dragon. And now Mudora to shut down this tree. Yeah. Opponent trying to use the called by on my tier name, Baron negated, and here I just try to build up the highest possible chain links by using the Mud Dragon and Maxi just for the statistics. So we reach chain link 9, and I go into Kid Carlos, and then Kid Carlos should be able to go into Mud Dragon. I mean into Dragostapelia using the Mud Dragon. I think I used both TNAs already this turn, or something like that. Or the turn from my opponent was basically over anyway, so yeah, we just go Kid Carlos for Sharon for more follow-up. And then Baron taking out Infantry and my opponent scooped. Bye bye, Fluonaries, welcome Master Free. Yeah, I don't think you should play Fluonaries in Master Duel with all of the ancient cards limited. Like Ampin is at 1, map is restricted, you have to play Copium like Gold Sark, also all of the pots are at 1. Why on earth would you ever play Fluonaries? Just don't do it, don't do it. The deck list that you can see on the screen right now is deck list that I used to climb from Master 5 to Master 1. And I wanted to have more consistency. For this reason I played a second Grief while some other lists may play only 1. And for the non-engine I played 3 Maxi, 3 Super Poly, 2 Forbidden Droplet and 2 Talents. Because I think a heavy board breaker approach is the best solution for going second. And the gameplay for going second in general should be trying to break the board of the opponent with cards like Kaleido Heart, Pearl Rhino, and then set up a Deep Sea Prima Donna into Psychic End Punisher, and then either OTK the opponent or try to set up Psychic End Punisher as towers that is impossible for the opponent to out. I got my deck list uploaded to masterduelmeta.com, and I will leave a link in the video description, so check it out. Anyways, see you in the next video, have a nice day, bye!